What is going on, guys? If you haven't already, if you could hit that little subscribe button, that would help us out greatly, and we appreciate that. I haven't had any type of tunes in my 2020 Pro XP since my dear wife, Steph, stole my radio. I did not have plans to address the radio till after I got a roll cage. One, different bar size, and honestly, I did not feel like wiring up a stereo and then basically rewiring it when I get a new cage.
That's just lazy.
Just don't have time to do that. So I ran without tunes. Generally, it's not a big deal for me. I spend a lot of time filming on our rides. When we're on those easy green trails and there's not much to film, I do like to listen to music. Now that I got the Midwest Dirt Fiend cage, and I can now get stuff for, like, you know, the final build. The cage is kind of the centerpiece for all the little accessories, so I waited, but now that we have it, we can add some tunes. So our friends over at KemiMoto set me up with this soundbar here. It's actually a lot bigger than what I expected.
That's what she said.
This kit, it looks like it comes with everything you need except for a fusible link. You get your roll bar mounts. Pretty much any size roll bar you have, I think it'll fit. I mean, it goes down from here to, I don't know, over 2 inches. I want to say it was 1 9/16 to like 2 1/4, something like that. They give you different length wires for, you know, different mounting locations depending on how much you need to get to your power source. I think this is the power source. Yeah. So you'd add a fusible link to this, and then it has like a cigarette lighter thing. And that's what these power cords have too. And I think that's how you're supposed to attach it. Probably not how we're gonna do it, but that's what they give you. You get the little 3.5 millimeter aux cord, get a little remote, and of course, instruction booklet that we probably won't use, and a little T-handle. It's got 4 little subwoofers, 2 little tweeters. You can operate this via Bluetooth through whatever device you have. Like I showed you, little remote too, once you're hooked up, boop, boop, boop. On the side, that's your hookup for power. Under the next door is a little USB port for hooking up a device. And this one here is your aux cable. Got little buttons and a display on the front. As far as mounting for a roll bar, they have a rail on top and a rail on bottom where little nuts slide in the rail, and you bolt the mounts right to it like that. But like the wiring, that's not how we're mounting it today. My particular application, I found a couple different ways where I can mount it on the top roll bar, and I just didn't like it. So the dilemma here, if you mount it up on this bar, it's facing up, and I'm pretty sure I'll hit my head on the bottom, and I really didn't want to clunk my head off of this thing. Next option was up on the bar here, and as you can see, that's a weird downward angle, and I really wasn't digging that. My ideal spot was somewhere here behind the head. So I ended up making my own little brackets. That's what these were, and I just have them attached to the little slide nut in the bottom of the mount. And actually these are just little peg risers off of an old Polaris Scrambler that I repurposed for the second time. These have also been something else. Anyways, I just took those, I drilled the correct size holes through them, and I'm using 2 of the mounts on the machine. I'll show you that now. So we got these two holes here that I was kind of eyeballing. They're similar to the ones in the bed that you can hook up the little quick attachments or where you mount your toolbox or cooler and all that stuff. They're just like that. And then I use these little brackets to put them in place. So now the holes line up. So I just got some 3/8/16 hardware that I'll run through. And I got some little plastic, I got a little plastic bushing that goes in that hole. Do that for each side, bolt it down, then this thing should be pretty good. Here's what goes on the bottom of that. Plastic spacer goes in. I got a big fender washer, nut, and a lock washer. In the back, I think I may lose my ability to run my rigid toolbox setup and my cooler at the same time, but I should be able to run one at a time. And lately, I've only been running the toolbox. I haven't even been running my cooler, so I don't think it'll be a big deal. I'm gonna get that thing all bolted down and then we'll do some wiring. The way I mounted it is not in the KemiMoto directions, but sometimes if you want it a certain way, you gotta get creative. They do offer the roll bar mounts. It just didn't work for my application.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, got her all mounted up. I like how it looks. Turned out good. And yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. Should be fine until it's not. All we have left is wiring, and it should be a breeze. If you completely go with their setup, I mean, you can wire this real quick. I'm gonna go for more of a permanent look. You know, I'm gonna hide the wires, stuff like that, and I'm not gonna use the little cigarette lighter adapters here. I think I'm just gonna cut those off, add a fusible link, and hook it up to the battery.
Much later.
So it's all wired up. I went rogue, and I just cut off their little adapter thing, threw an inline fuse on, tied it into some keyed-on power in the center console, and that's it. Ran the wire the way I wanted, got it all zip tied up nice and clean, and we're ready to see how this sounds. As soon as you turn the key on, it lights up red. Turn it on. Right away it's saying Bluetooth, and then it finds it KemiMoto, so we'll connect. And we connect.
You have a certain look.
Oh. Since this is for YouTube, we gotta test it with some copyright-free music. That was turned up all the way. It's pretty loud, doesn't distort, so happy with that. Sounds pretty good. I wasn't expecting any type of award-winning sound system, but I'm happy with that. So I still got to hear it when the engine's running, driving it around a bit. We'll be able to test that out tomorrow at Dude, so we'll catch you there.
The next day.
All right, well, I just talked to you guys for a long time, and yeah, I wasn't recording.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
We'll drive around in low so the RPMs are a little higher, and we'll have our favorite copyright-free song playing. It's not my favorite. I'm picking something random, so it might be terrible. I don't know. This is just to test the sound while the motor runs. Oh yeah, banger!
A little longer than a few minutes later.
I know it's going to be hard to gauge stuff like this through a microphone, through a camera, but it sounds good. So I have the aftermarket exhaust, you have the blow off valve, you got extra noises than a stock machine, and I can hear the music perfectly. This isn't perfect music for this. I did run a test with, you know, music I would actually be listening to, and it sounds a lot better because it's an actual song. The copyright free stuff we have to do for YouTube, so we can't show you that. But I'm impressed with it, especially for the price point. I like the idea of the sound bar because it's just kind of out of the way, and the amount of filming I do, music isn't my top priority, so I'm impressed with it. Well, all right, guys, we'll go up and we will do a little comparison. We'll do this machine with the KemiMoto soundbar, and then that's going to be the lowest price point. I don't remember the exact price, but I'll have a link to this in the description. And then Steph's Trails and Rocks has the Noam Nutv5 with a subwoofer and an actual amp. And then we have Dude's machine with the Stage whatever Rockford Fosgate factory one. So his is obviously going to be the loudest, but it's a very expensive sound system. This is nothing compared to his. This thing is probably the price of one of his speakers. So let's go up there and do that comparison. Damn it.
I think I'm louder, dog.
We'll see. All right, we got our three contenders. The KemiMoto soundbar, the Stage 500 Fosgate. What stage is this thing
4.
really? Huh?
4.
Stage 4 with the subwoofer, and then the Noam Nutv5 there.
3 of them together.
We did a bad experiment. We tried to do all 3, but it was only 2. We're gonna do one at a time, and hopefully it picks up on the microphone, kind of the volume difference. So here's the KemiMoto soundbar. Here's the Stage 4 Fosgate in Dude's machine. A little louder, a little more bass. All right, here's the Noam Nutv5. So it is clear that the Fosgate one is a lot louder, a lot more bass, but you gotta expect that because
the bass is underneath the thing. Mine's open.
Yeah, but his also
Costs a lot more.
yeah. That's I mean that KemiMoto soundbar is like probably half the price of just his subwoofer. So
yeah,
I mean it makes sense. All right, the point of this is you don't have to have the super expensive factory radio for it to sound nice. You can go the cheaper routes. The KemiMoto one is cheaper than the Noam one, but they're pretty comparable. So we'll end this experiment. We're gonna hit play on all 3 of them at the same time. Are you guys ready?
How do we know it's at